The drums of war thunder once again.
G'day everyone, Dallo the Multiboxer here, and we're going back about a week, maybe a little more now, to some older footage I took. It is Shadowfang Keep, and we're doing it at a quick pace here. It was a long run. It's quite a big instance, but it's a really fun instance. There's not a single quest here for Alliance, but I made the run anyway just to do this instance once and get some footage and get to go there. So yeah, it's good fun. Even if you're not getting great XP per hour or all that sort of stuff, it's just a good, interesting instance. So what you have to do to start with is make your way through these back corridors once you enter the instance, and you have to free one of these guys after killing a named mob, and he will go and open the door to the courtyard for you after you talk to him. So you run back here and you see he's opened the door, so now we're out to the main courtyard. So basically the key to this instance is to slowly make your way to the top where the big boss is. And the final boss is actually quite tricky. It's one of the sort of harder bosses out of these earlier instances that you come across. But yeah, AoE pulls, all the standard stuff you see with the 3-mage team here. Grab a bunch of dudes, AoE pulls. I'm also running Holy Nova. I just picked that up at this stage. So I'm running AoEs, Holy Novas, and full bags as always. So yeah, this is a good one. If you go back and level as Horde or decide to make another team of 5, I'll try and fit this one in your schedule, or even if you haven't got this far with your team yet. It's around, the final boss is level 26, so you want to be around 24. The mobs at the start are quite low level. Sorry, my chair's just squeaking a bit there. Yeah, the mobs at the start are quite low level, but towards the end you're getting up towards 25, 26-ish. And there's a couple of tricky things. I actually wiped towards the end of this, which I'll go over when we get there, but all this sort of stuff is fairly easy. There's some of those mobs at the start there, they have a magic shield. I think wand still works. So you go in and when they magic shield, you switch over to wand, or I don't know, even melee, or you just wait basically if you run into this many casters. And yeah, some of these big pulls, I wasn't quick enough on my healing on one of the mages. It's hard, basically because I was doing Holy Nova. I don't get the opportunity to spam heals, which is a reason why you can potentially not use Holy Nova, which is sort of why I've moved away from it. It's a bit more important in the higher levels too, I find also Holy Nova is just very mana taxing and quite weak for what it does. Whereas Arcane Explosion smashes these guys to bits at sort of any level. It's always a good AoE spell. So yeah, we're making our way up, working our way through these early bosses. No difficult tactics required here. It's only the last couple that might give you some trouble. But yeah, I was listening to a podcast regarding Classic before it came out, and they had one of the level designers of Classic WoW on, and he was saying that this is the only castle they got to sort of really work with and build when building sort of the areas, and this is a big keep/castle, apart from Stormwind of course, that they got to work on. And yeah, it's cool. You run out on the I don't know what you call it, the parapets or the balcony of the castle, and get to run across and kill a bunch of humans, a bunch of Worgen, a bunch of ghosts. There's all sorts of mobs in here, mostly humanoids. And I always prefer the instances that are all humanoids. Actually noticed I picked up a new one-hander early in the instance, one of those bosses, and I just got dual wielding on the warrior, and I didn't realise that when I equipped the new weapon, it didn't equip it over the top of my current weapon, it actually equipped it over the top of my shield. So I was dual wield tanking for a little bit throughout this dungeon without realising it. So obviously taking some more damage, but yeah, it wasn't really a big issue. Okay, so it's a long instance, working our way up. Now, the leveling process seemed pretty quick, sort of 1 to 30 I found. I only got to run most of these instances once. I only needed to run them once just because I was leveling that fast. At Dead Mines, you almost get a full level just from a full clear. Now that I'm up in my 40s, it's like I'll do a full clear of, Alderman or ZF. I'll get 3-4 bars maybe. Maybe it's more than that. I haven't actually done an exact calculation, but yeah, you're looking at doing a lot more runs. Try to throw a lot more quests in. I found that I was doing a lot of quests that were a little bit below my level when I was sort of at this stage, because I'd gained so much XP from dungeons and I still wanted to get these quests done. Now, it's finding quests. I'm generally doing quests that are 2 or 3 levels too high for me, because that's what I need to do to sort of tick along instead of running dungeons over and over again. I just sort of need to tick that XP over by doing a few quests, and the only ones I can find are a few levels higher. But that works. It's working. And as soon as I can get into Blackrock Death, I'm at level 47 at the moment. As soon as I get into BRD and start actually aiming for some of that best in slot gear, that really top sort of gear that's going to last me a long time. And I don't know if I'm going to raid. I might just raid on my warrior, or maybe just the priest. I'm definitely not raiding on one of the mages as a solo character. It's just I can't sit through a whole instance just spamming frostbolt. It doesn't do it for me. I like to tank. I like to heal. That's just me. Each to their own with that. But yeah, so I might do a raid that way if I can find a group that'll let me bring all 5 in. I wouldn't mind doing that and do a run through Molten Core, but just finding the time where I can actually. I mean, I like multi-boxing because I can play when it suits me. I can do a dungeon when it suits me. I have, a child, a wife, a full-time job. It can be hard to fit my schedule in with other people's, especially 39 other people needed for a raid, or 35 if I'm multi-boxing. So we'll just sort of have to see where we go with that. I do want to, maybe I can try and get in a pug, or start a pug myself at some stage and pick up some guys my server is quite slow. It seems to be the Oceanic server that none of the hardcore guilds are on. Definitely seems to be a bit of a Care Bear server. There's not that many, even at this point, there isn't a huge amount of 60s. There's a few, don't get me wrong. I actually haven't seen if any raids have occurred on my server yet. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the server progresses and what happens in terms of me being able to get into raids. So this boss is interesting. He looks like a piece of piss, right? Tank and spank. I start going through all this, and then all his ads start popping up after he's dead. Actually, it might not have been this boss, but yeah, there's a wolf boss coming up that I wipe on. I thought it was a wolf. It was another wolf. I don't know, but that one seemed really easy. Slowly making our way up the tower. Let's have a look and see what happens. Yeah, so it's a Worgen. So it's this guy. So I take out all the ads and I AE them. So all my guys are on 0 mana. And as soon as they're all dead, he aggroes. And I've got no mana on my priest, no mana on my mages. I've got no pots organised. I'm just not ready for this boss at this point. I could have taken all those 4 guys down one by one and had plenty of mana left over, but I didn't do that. And then when you kill him, more ads spawn, which is yeah, that was what really got me. I killed the boss and I was like done, and then more ads and I couldn't deal with them, so wipe. And it's a run back from South Shore, Hillsbrad. I think it's the nearest Alliance graveyard, so it's a bit of a fair run back all the way to the instance, and then all the way through the instance. Okay, but yeah, I've been watching some other videos. I was actually watching a streamer with the exact same composition, except that his team was entirely undead, and he's in BRD at the moment. And I'll have to look up his his name and put it in the comments. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but he was doing some great stuff. His team was so compact. He was doing some great AoE farming in the starting areas of Beyblade. He was level 53. And it looked fantastic. So he, or she, I don't know, they didn't have a camera or a microphone, but they were a very good multi-boxer and very impressive. So I'll find that stream and I'll put it in the description. And yeah, check them out, because that was some impressive gaming, and they were using a lot of the features in Ebony's multi-boxing assistant, which I mentioned in my last video. I was talking about the sync bar and that sort of stuff. They were using it all very well. They had the formations button available. They were using that, and a lot of AoE farming. They were doing big pulls. And yeah, as I said, the same team. So yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting to see other multi-boxers out there. There's another guy that's on YouTube putting up a few videos of these huge SM clears. So I might also see if I can put a link to his YouTube in the description as well. But here we are. So we're getting up to the last boss. Now this guy's level 26 and he's a caster. And if you have a melee team, I can imagine this would be a real pain of a fight. It's like a frost mage, I think, if I remember rightly. So he's up there. So I aggro him down. He comes down. He starts throwing. You know, he mind controlled the tank and had my tank attacking. He jumped up there, and here I am thinking, all right, I'll just bring him back down and we'll get him down. He's slowly killing. I'm out of mana. It's always mana that running out of mana on the healer that's the issue. And I got him pretty low. I thought I'd actually get him. But luckily, for some reason, he didn't kill the priest. I'm not sure how I reset the fight, but by moving away and that, I was able to res all my guys and not have to run back. So I reset the fight. So, res them all up, rebuff, all that jazz. Drink. And here we go. We're about to run in and fight again. So buffing up. So what I decided to do is go in this under part here, leave my team down there, bring him down, line of sight him, bring him down, and here we go. So he mind controls the tank, get that off. I'm not sure if you can dispel it or not. So he's up there. So I bring my team over under here again. So and he gets the tank down. Mana's running low. He's at about 10%. So I get down to my last two guys and I just finish him off. So it's a tough fight. Yeah, so how did you guys go with this dungeon? Let me know. And yeah, let us know what other content. I've had some people asking for some guides. I will do it, but I really want to get to 60 first. So I'm just focusing on that. Alright, so like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you in Azeroth.